Hello friends, Clage back with another Punishing Grey Raven video today, and I want to do a bit of a continuation and update on Hanying's guide. I was doing my Warzone runs this week with the physical team, and I noticed I was lagging behind by quite a bit, even against other players with similar ranks on their characters to mine. So I was trying to figure out exactly what I was doing wrong, because I didn't feel like I was missing anything with the rotation. You know, I wasn't making any big mistakes, no downtime, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, there's got to be something I don't get here. So I went on and to the official PGR Discord and started scouring YouTube for various Warzone runs with this particular team. And, you know, at this point when they came out in, like, the Chinese server and such. And I found a modified version of Hanying's rotation that drastically improves the Warzone output of the physical teams. So I want to share that rotation. First and foremost, the guide I found on this rotation was done by one of my fellow PGR content creator cohorts, sNazz. I'm going to link that video and their channel down below, so please check them out. They make a lot of cool videos too, and they're very good at explaining stuff like this. So that's the only reason I was able to learn this rotation in the first place. So this is not my rotation. I did not come up with this. I am not that kind of a PGR savant. But I just wanted to share it because I think the more videos we have on this stuff, the more information people have, and the better we all get at the game. And that's just good as a whole. So again, thanks to sNazz. I'll link that channel again down below. But I want to talk about how to get more out of Hanying and the physical team as a whole in Warzone. So if we do Hanying's typical rotation as I showed in her guide, where we ping the 6 red orbs, go into ult, spend our ult, repeat, and then swap out, it works fine. It works very smoothly as long as you have her at double S. But pinging single orbs takes a long time. And if you might recall when I was doing like the Phantom Pain Cage breakdown for Hanying, I mentioned about using the yellow orb, which pings 3 orbs at once of her musical orbs, but doesn't give as much of her core passive gauge. And what I found out is that there's actually a very much more efficient way to do one half of her rotation by utilizing that yellow orb and utilizing a free cub to make things work out. So the nice thing about this modified rotation is that all you need for it to work is your Hanying just needs to be double S. Can be double S0, you don't need double S3, you don't need anything beyond your single copy and the upgrade you can get from Pain Cage Skulls to get her to double S. What you will need is you will need her signature weapon, because you will, no matter what, to make this rotation work, have to have deadline timing. This is a hard requirement for this rotation to work. If you cannot afford Hanying's signature weapon right now, or you don't have any weapon resonance materials available, don't worry about this rotation for the time being, but this will be useful down the road if you can pick up her weapon, get it resonanced, and put deadline timing on there. This also allows you to run the patent memory set on Hanying. You do not need to run Kadi. You will have enough signature energy to make this work. So just double S, her best memory set, and then you will need the weapon and the resonance to make this work. The other thing you're going to need is to put a copy of Lingya, the free A-rank pet, and you're going to be putting this on Alisa. And the reason we're doing this is Lingya has a passive, if you equip it, that every time your character who has Lingya equipped does a 3-ping, this will give another blue orb to the next member switched in. This is what's going to allow this rotation to work out the gate. And the start of this rotation is far and away the most difficult part to keep online. But Lingya makes this entire process possible. So this cub is completely free. You probably have 6 of them sitting around in your inventory from rolling on other cubs or just playing the game organically. You don't have to level the cub. You don't have to level the skill. You just need to have this skill equipped, the voltage transformer. So those are the only 2 requirements to make this work. Now, I will warn ahead of time, this rotation is notably more strict than the ping 6 red orbs ult, ping 6 red orbs ult rotation. It's very, very easy to brick this rotation. If you ping 1 extra orb when you don't need to with Haunting, this rotation is going to fail out the gate. So It does take some practice. It definitely took me a good couple hours of practice to feel like I was really doing it well. But when I got this rotation down, my Warzone score for the week jumped up by over 500k, and that's a lot in Warzone. That's a big chunk. So I want to show everyone how to do this rotation because, again, I just want more people to have this information and kind of help people out with getting things down here. So how this is going to work is you're going to start with Alisa, just like you would normally in physical Warzone. But instead of just immediately calling in Hanying, you need to use at least one 3-ping. Luckily, if you have Alisa awakened, obviously you will have a 3-ping. If you have her Ultima awakened, as you should, Infinitas, excuse me, not Ultima, the last awakening, you'll be able to pick which orb color you get for your 3 orbs at the start. In this case, you just want to make sure it's the same color as Bianca. I like using the yellow orbs because the yellow orbs take Alisa all the way to the enemy because she does the jump in. So this just sets up your positioning really well to make this whole rotation work. So you can order these however you want. If you prefer a different starting orb, that's fine. Just make sure Bianca is on the same color as Alisa's starting orbs, and you can make this work. But how we're going to make this work is we're going to start by bringing Alisa in, using her 3-ping. This will trigger Bianca's QTE. You can go ahead and use that. That's just free damage because Bianca's not coming on the field for a bit. And her QTE will be back up when Alisa can proc Da Vinci and go into the Da Vinci buffs. So, but we're going to open by 3-pinging with Alisa, calling Bianca's QTE. Then we're immediately going to switch to Hanying, dodge cancel her animation, and then we're going to start the rotation. So I'm going to do this kind of slowly. There's a good chance this might not work exactly as I want it to because you do need to be somewhat quick about this. But let's just go through this. So if we start like we normally would, Warzone fires off, wave 1, etc. So we 3-ping with Alisa, call Bianca's QTE, bring in Hanying, dodge cancel, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, hit the yellow orb, then hit the green orb, go into ult. Now, instead of immediately going into ult, we're going to use 1 3-ping of blue orbs, and now we go into the normal ult rotation. And out of this, we're going to do our standard ping the red orbs, get the green orb. You can ping 2 more red orbs, or you can do a 3-ping of blue once you hit ult, and then we're going to ult again, just like normal. And then we can swap off to Bianca from there. So, I'm going to do that one more time, just for the sake of making sure everyone can see it, make sure it's well explained. But basically, the only difference to the rotation is on your first ult rotation when Hanying comes in, instead of doing 6 red orbs, you're going to do 3 red orbs, 1 yellow orb, then ult. Then after that ult, instead of immediately going into tapping your ult button and then holding for the full ult, you're going to do 1 3-ping of the blue orbs. You have to do that 3-ping of the blue orbs. That's what helps this work. Don't forget to do that. But if you can do that, you can do this rotation. And then again, the second ult rotation is the standard one that was in my guide and is in every other guide. Just mash the red orbs till your gauge is full, go into ult, do your ult rotation, and then you're ready to swap out. Again, on that second round, you can either ping 2 more red orbs in before going into ult to max out the core passive gauge, or you can go into ult and 3-ping a blue orb and do it that way. I personally prefer doing the 2 red orbs before going into ult, just because if you accidentally do a double tap on the blue orbs, you're not going to have enough orbs to finish the full ult. Whereas if you accidentally double tap or triple tap on the red orbs, you're still going to be okay. You'll still have enough orbs left over. It just offers a little bit more wiggle room. It is slightly faster to ping the blue orbs after going into ult for the second rotation, but it's a minimal difference overall. So just whatever you're more comfortable with. But one more time. So we bring in Alisa, ping our orb, call Bianca QTE, Hanying comes in, 2, 3, yellow orb, green orb, ult, call QTEs, 1 set of blue orbs, and now normal ult. So tap until the gauge is full, then hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, green orb, 2 more if you want the gauge that way. Tap ult, hold ult, rotation over. Bianca comes in. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It's not overly complex in terms of what you're changing to make this rotation work. It's just very strict and requires a very specific setup. Thankfully, that setup really only requires a signature weapon and one resonance, which is not cheap. Don't get me wrong, signature weapons and an extra signature weapon or a resonance stick to put a resonance on it is not the cheapest thing in the world, but it is a huge jump in the efficiency for the physical team. So I went ahead and recorded my best Warzone of the week. So I'm going to go over, swap to that, and kind of commentate that a little bit so you can see it in actual full motion and kind of show why this rotation has been so good. So I will be right back. Alrighty, so I have my Warzone recording for this week queued up here, and I'm going to go through kind of showing how this looks in real time when you're using it on the Warzone, trying to maximize score. Again, just to summarize, the only reason this rotation works is that equipping Alisa with Lingya, the free cub, will allow her to generate one extra orb for Hanying by pinging her own 3-ping, which will get the passive of Lingya to go off and give Hanying an extra orb. That extra orb is incredibly important. Without it, she would fall one orb short of being able to complete her entire double rotation. So that is the only reason this works. But let's go ahead and look at this, and I'll stop at points where I need to. But so we go in, 3-ping, and then you see me bring Hanying in. The QTE's going off with Bianca. You can see her in the upper left there. We're going to dodge cancel with Hanying, and then 1, 2, 3, yellow, red, or green orb, go into ult, call QTEs, 1 blue orb. You'll notice I kind of stall here before I start the blue orb ping and then going into the ult. The reason for that is that for whatever reason on Warzone, it's really common, especially in the single boss style Warzones where there's only one enemy per round. It's really common for Hanying to kind of dash off into no man's land. And what happens sometimes is when you get to your full ult and you actually let it rip, either like the boss will have spawned, and this happens at wave 4, which is your first 30 bar boss, you know, your first boss of the Warzone run. And what'll happen is your ult will go off, but it will not be close enough to do damage, or the boss will be coming in and either have some kind of weird iframe thing. I'm not quite sure why it does it. I haven't gotten a consistent result out of it, but every once in a while, Hanying just kind of flies off to Narnia, and then your ult hits nothing, and obviously that's not very good for a solid Warzone. So that's why I delayed before hitting the first blue orb and then starting the tap ult. You see right there, I kind of went off in the La La Land, but as you can see here, this is our first ult. Roseblade's dead. Like, we've cleared 4 waves with 1/2 of Hanying's rotation, and we're only 8 seconds into the run. So now we can just do the standard ping red orbs, go into ult. Even if you mash an extra red orb, you're not going to brick the rotation at this point. We call QTEs. And then we swap into Bianca. Bianca and Alisa's rotations do not change for this particular setup. You do the same thing you'd always do. Bring Bianca in, go into her ult, basically mash until the QTEs are online, call them in, swap to Alisa, do Alisa's rotation. From here, it's pretty straightforward. The nice thing for this going forward is once you get through Hanying's first rotation, deadline timing is going to naturally build her more orbs. This will give you more wiggle room if you accidentally mash an extra orb or make a minor mistake in your pings. You won't necessarily automatically brick the rotation going forward after that first rotation because deadline timing is a hell of a resonance. It's really good because obviously just getting extra orbs every 45 seconds would already be an amazing perk, but the important thing about deadline timing is it does not calculate time stop. It is real time 45 seconds. It does not care about time stop. So the more you time stop, the more you cast ults with your entire team, the more orbs deadline timing is going to build up and give you a bigger buffer for Hanying going forward. So really that first rotation is the only important part. As you can see for the rest of this, it's just doing the standard physical rotation, calling your QTEs when you can. Try to be mindful of where bosses are when you ult with Bianca and Alisa. You know, if they're just about dead or you're going to be wasting an ult to get rid of the last, 2% of a bar, obviously try and make your adjustments on the fly. That's kind of one of the big challenges of Warzone in general, is sometimes you have to make judgment calls on your rotation. You can't necessarily just blindly do it and hope you're going to maximize everything from there. But And if you're watching this video, or you watch anyone else who's covered this modified Hanying rotation and you're struggling, don't feel bad. Again, like, I have been a competitive Guilty Gear player for over 22 years, a series that is very noted for its execution demands, and this took me hours to get down and feel like I was doing it consistently and comfortably, and I still was making mistakes right up until I got this recording done earlier this morning. So if it feels like it's a struggle, or you're having a hard time hitting the rotation consistently, don't worry about it. That's what training mode is for. There is no limit on the amount of times you can retry Warzone. There's no penalty for just starting over and over again, even if you lay down a score. It's not like Pain Cage where you have to lock in your score. So if you just practice and chip away at it, you'll get it down pretty quick. It really isn't too bad. And again, this is available to almost anyone. It does require a 6-star weapon. It does require at least one weapon resonance. But these are things even free-to-play players can get with enough time and saving up cards and stuff. So this is very worth learning. I think it's really, really worth learning. The difference is night and day. I barely could get through wave 20, I think, with the standard Hanying rotation on my Warzone runs. So as you can see, we got 12 seconds left. We're already on 24 and about to hit 25 here because Hanying is back on the field. Obviously, she's hard carrying the damage on my team, especially since my Bianca is only double S3. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole gist. I just wanted to get this one out. I feel like this is worthwhile information. Hopefully it helps more people improve their war zones and get a little bit more comfortable with maximizing damage with Hanying and the physical team. So I felt like this was important since it wasn't in the original Hanying guide. I wanted to add this in as an addendum and get it out there. So hopefully this will help you out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I'll try and give any advice or help I can to help you get the rotation down. There are a lot of little just minor tricks and optimizations you can do, but just go into the training mode, go into Warzone, practice it, you'll get it down very quickly. I'm confident that anyone can do this. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you for indulging me on this update to the Hanying guide. Once again, shout outs to sNazz and all the other content creators who have covered this rotation. Again, I'll link his... Well, I should say they, I don't know for sure. But I will link their channel down below so you can check that out. And yeah, that's all I got for now. I will be back probably early this week. I'm going to get the preparation for the next patch video done here very soon. Normally, I'd be waiting till closer to the new patch, but with this next patch being another triple patch and having 2 paid S ranks on it, I think the sooner I get the preparation video out, the better it will be for everyone. So I'll be working on that here very soon. And yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate you all. As always, if you want to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, definitely appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one. Enjoy your weekend, and peace for now.